and I am a junior at Satterton High School. So I'd like to take a moment this evening and describe each of you in the audience. As an American, there are certain defining characteristics that all of you possess. These traits are best depicted through the internet meme, Murica Man. Representing American stereotypes at their finest, this gelatinous lump of a man slouches in a motorized scooter, firing a machine gun and eating a burger. As you've realized, that description does not describe any of you, let alone all of you. Unfortunately, that is the image most of the people who haven't come in contact with the American culture see. Stereotypes, or a fixed, oversimplified idea of a certain type of person, strip away the individuality of people. Clumping large groups of people and defining them all by the same narrow definition leaves only a hazy interpretation rather than an actual understanding. Before being given the opportunity to connect with the Chinese teenagers through the Museums Connect program, my understanding of the Chinese culture was very limited. If asked what I thought of China, I would have immediately summoned up an image straight from the Disney movie Mulan. To me, China was a faraway place full of strange traditions and people I didn't understand. The news told stories of overpopulation and overwhelming pollution. One specific news story I remember being repeated on the news was that an unidentified slime was oozing from the sewers due to the pollution. Another exposure I had was Pearl S. Buck's novel, The Good Earth. Her knowledge of the culture enlightened me about the developing culture of China, yet it was still a historical image of the country. Through the program, many of the stereotypes I had previously held about China were replaced with a deeper understanding of the culture. My view that China was filled with ancient traditions was expanded to include an understanding of the modern culture and its many progressions. I have also broadened my understanding of their government and state of personal freedoms. Having direct contact with the students over the social media site QQ, I have been able to build relationships with the students in China. These conversations have enlightened me on the daily lives of the students, as well as what interests them in their hobbies. Through this connection, I have found many more similarities than differences between our cultures. To combat stereotypes so prevalent in today's pop culture, I plan on being more informed with foreign affairs rather than buying into the general consensus. With this cultural exchange, I can speak out against the stereotypes I hear with my own personal experiences from this program and the connections I have made through it. Using my own experiences, I will be able to educate others to fill the gaps with actualities rather than perceptions. It is differences between cultures that are highlighted by our stereotypes, and us versus them mentality. Finding common ground is what can pave the way to forging friendships. This is well represented by the ping-pong diplomacy event of 1971. Several years' diplomatic hiatus stood between our two countries. That changed when an American ping-pong player rode on the Chinese ping-pong player bus. This prompted the invitation of American ping-pong players to visit China, the first semi-official delegation of Americans to China in over 20 years. This personal connection over a sport opened up talks for current trade regulations with China. Focusing on our similarities as individuals rather than our differences can help build personal bonds and friendships. In doing so, we are able to connect past the stereotypes laid out for us by the media and our surroundings. I hope to use this insight I have gained from the Museums Connect program to continue my education in foreign affairs. With my future career plans still undecided, my awareness of stereotypes and how they can affect international relationships will be reflected through all of my future careers. Being able to represent this program in China will be an opportunity for me to immerse myself in the Chinese culture. Surrounding myself with the people, places, and traditions I have discussed with the students over the past months will give me a fuller understanding of the Chinese culture. Specifically, I would love to be able to experience and be able to help make some of the traditional Chinese food. I would make sure the experience was to its fullest and won't skip the opportunity to try something new. By traveling to China, I would also like to be able to represent America in a positive light and have a positive impact on what the Chinese people think about Americans. There are undeniable differences between the American and Chinese cultures. Instead of being a divide between our countries and our people, they should be a united factor. Sharing of culture should lead to connections and appreciation, not alienation and friction. In the past, relationships between the countries have been helped by individual connections, looking past the differences and finding similarities. Through the Museums Connects program, I hope to be able to forge that same unitedness with the teenagers in China. Thank you.